Hi. How's the microphone? Can you hear me okay? Are you ready for this? Ready for a bit of core yoga? Right. Okay. So, this evening we are going to be doing core yoga. So the whole hour's class tonight is going to be specifically for our core, and by core I don't mean abs or like the superficial core muscles that we might, get a six-pack or whatever. I mean the deep core muscles. So the core muscles that attach our legs to our body, the core muscles that help us stand up straight, so they're really good for our posture, and the core muscles that support our lower back. So I'm talking about those core muscles, and in particular the psoas muscle, which attaches from the back, it runs through the core, and then it attaches at the top of our legs. So it helps us to walk, it helps us to move, and these muscles can get really weak from sitting down all the time, and yeah, that's what yeah, you can watch it, you can do it tomorrow. You're gonna get fired up. I'm so awkward in the beginning of these videos. So a couple of things you might need and you might want to be mindful of. So you might want, if you have a yoga strap, you might want that, or you can use a dressing gown cord or a towel, or just something that that you might want to have nearby to help. You might also want a couple of books. If you have yoga blocks, great, but if not, just a couple of fat books or something. You might want to have some of those nearby just to elevate, give you some more height. And when you're working core, you do have to be quite careful of your lower back. So if at any point your lower back feels sensitive, it's a good idea to just pull out of the posture and yeah, just take it easy, be mindful, don't hurt yourself. Yoga's not meant to hurt you, it's meant to heal. I think that's it. So I think we're just gonna crack on, and we're gonna be doing quite a lot of lying postures to begin with. So you wanna lie on your backs. So if you come down onto your backs on the floor, and then if you're comfortable, if your back's okay, then have the legs straight, arms a little way. Now if this hurts your back, feel free to bend the legs and have the feet on the floor, just to give the lower back a bit of support. Either way, we're going to close the eyes and spend a couple of moments checking in with the breath, checking in with the body, and just bringing the attention into the room. So at the beginning of every yoga class, we spend a couple of moments in this position. So start to make the inhales and exhales equal in length. So we're slowing the breath down. Pay special attention to the exhale, which tends to be a little bit quicker. Breathe in through the nose if possible, and moving the breath up into the chest. So you're going to feel the ribs rise and fall. And as much as possible, we're going to keep this rhythm going throughout the class. So if at any point your breath becomes a little bit laboured, usually a good sign you've gone a bit too far. So always prioritise the breath over the posture. It's going to be tricky today because this core, but just do your best. Over time it will come. At the very least, try to breathe. A lot of people forget to breathe, but try and remember to breathe. And then take your attention around the body, so notice how you feel, any aches and pains you need to be mindful of, injuries you're working with. And again, we're not trying to push our bodies into the deepest posture possible. There's no point practicing yoga or doing any sort of exercise really if it's going to hurt you, if you're going to leave the class feeling worse than when you began. Okay, and we're just going to take a couple of breaths together now. So, I want you to inhale deeply through your nose, big inhale in. Now pause at the top, retain the breath just for a couple of beats. And then exhale through the nose. Retain the breath at the bottom. And then inhale through the nose, big inhale in. Pause at the top, hold it here. And then big exhale through the nose. Pause at the bottom. Big inhale in through the nose. Retain the breath just for a couple of counts. And then exhale through the nose. Hold it. Push all the air out of the lungs. And then take a big inhale and just come back to your natural breath. And then from here, we're going to take both feet down the mat, point the toes, arms overhead, take a big cat stretch. So make yourself as long as you can. And if you're working from home and sitting around all day, this should feel quite nice. Really point the toes, lift the hands, feel the stretch come into the top of the legs, shoulders, lower back. And then as you exhale, just hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side and make circles. So giving the lower back a bit of a massage. Keep the back of the head on the floor though. And then really squeeze the thighs up towards the stomach and roll. Okay, and then bring both feet to the floor. So this, if your hamstrings are tight, this might be where you want to use your strap or your dressing gown cord or whatever. So we're going to leave the left foot on the floor, left knee bent, and we're going to take the back of the right thigh. As you inhale, we're going to extend the right leg up towards the ceiling, hamstring stretch. So instead of having the hands around the back of the thigh, you can use something to sort of help. If the hamstring's a bit tight, you might want to do that. We're trying to keep the back of the shoulders on the floor, the head is down, and while there's some pressure in the arms to bring the right leg back, the arms aren't overly tense. We're trying to get the right leg as straight as possible, which means you might need to lower the right leg a bit further down towards the floor. And then we're really working the right toes back to feel the stretch in the calf, the ankle, lower back down, left foot, just resting on the floor. Okay, nice, slow, deep breaths, and then with every exhale, maybe easing the toes a little bit higher above the face if that's appropriate. And because we are sort of sitting down a bit more than usual recently, this could feel a little bit tricky, but try and breathe through it. Doing really well. See if you can work the right toes back a little bit more, really reaching the right heel up towards the ceiling. And then you're more than welcome to stay here, or if you want to bring the groin into it, on your next inhale, we're going to straighten the left leg down the mat. So now both legs are as straight as you can get them. Work both toes back towards you. And then see if you can ground down through the left calf. So if the groin and the hamstrings are a bit tight, that left calf is going to lift. It's not a problem if you can't press it down, but give it a go, see what happens. So a little bit more intense. If your leg's shaking, that's totally normal. Still working the toes a little bit higher above the face. Still keeping the shoulders down, back of the head on the floor. And then be mindful that the left toes don't fall out sideways. So trying to keep the left toes facing the ceiling. Okay, amazing. Now, really work both toes back. Squeeze both quads, and then we're going to release the hands or the strap, place the hands either side of the body, but keep the legs in the position they're in. So now the right hip flexor's having to work really hard to keep the right leg up. What we don't want is that right leg to start traveling further towards the floor. So if you can, see if you can bring the toes a little bit higher. See if you can get the legs a little bit straighter. And then take your attention back to the breath. How's your breath doing? I imagine it's getting a little bit quick. See if you can slow it right down. If you're tense in the shoulders, try and relax the shoulders. And then you can stay here. If it's all getting a bit too much, you can even bring the right leg down, no problem. But if you want to make it a little bit harder, on your next inhale, raise the left leg off the floor so it's hovering off the mat. So now we're scissoring the legs. Then see if you can work the right toes back a bit more. So you should start to feel some work in the lower belly. Definitely the tops of the legs. Stay in here, or on your next inhale, we're going to curl the spine up and bring the nose to the knee. Arms parallel, palms facing each other. Nice, slow, steady breaths. Then see if you can work the right toes back a little bit more. See if you can straighten that left leg. Holding it here for a count of 5 deep, slow breaths. 4, 3, doing really well. 2, and 1. Amazing. Drop both legs, give your legs a shake. Woo! So hopefully feeling that work in the belly. Starting to fire up these muscles. So let's change sides. Right leg's bent, right foot on the floor. Take the back of the left thigh, hands, dressing gown, cord strap, whatever you have, towel. And then as you inhale, we're extending the left leg up and then working the left toes back. So just be mindful that one side will probably be tighter than the other. So starting to be aware of those differences. All the same things apply here. We want the shoulders down, back of the head down. Base of the spine down, right foot resting. With every exhale, maybe easing the left leg back, but don't worry if it doesn't move. Just keep the feet active, keep the breath steady. And holding it here. Okay, fabulous. Then on your next inhale, we're extending the right leg down the mat. So now both legs are straight. Work both toes back and then see if you can ground down through the right calf. Remember, you can have a rest at any point if you need to. Keep the right toes facing the ceiling. My leg's shaking, I don't know about yours. Right. You can stay here. If you want to start to bring the hip flexors into it, both toes pull back, squeeze both quads, hands release either side of the body and try and keep the left leg in the position it's in. If you're a little bit, if you're jonesing for more of a stretch, then you can see if you can bring the left toes a bit higher above the face. Either way, we're trying not to let the left heel travel closer towards the mat. Slow, deep breaths up into the chest. Hold it here. And then on your next inhale, if you want to go a little bit harder, hover the right leg off the floor. Get both legs as straight as possible, scissoring the legs. Feeling that work start to come into the lower belly. Always being mindful of your back, and then the last step, inhale, curl the nose up towards the knee, hands parallel, palms face each other, and then see if you can draw that left leg back. See if you can extend through the right heel. We're going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Amazing. Lower the legs. Woof. Have a drink if you need to. We're going to take a cat stretch low, so point both feet. Arms overhead, lengthen. So in yoga, we're always strengthening and lengthening muscles. We just contracted those hip flexors, now we're stretching them back out. And then hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side and make some circles. Lovely job. I can't see you, but I know you're doing a lovely job. And then take both feet to the mat. So legs straight again. This time take your arms overhead, palms face up. So the arms are overhead, the palms are facing up, and then reach the fingertips away, so a little shoulder stretch. And then on your next inhale, we're extending both legs up towards the ceiling, just like this. So we have the legs over the hips, they don't have to come back further than that, we want the lower back down. And then just work both toes back. So we've already worked into the hamstring, so hopefully this doesn't feel too. Holding it here, and now on your inhale, we're going to lower the right leg to the floor so it's hovering. Lovely. So very similar to what we just done. Holding it here, working both toes back. Keep the left leg above the left hip. So try not to let that left leg drop. Keeping the shoulders active, so fingers really stretching back and then driving down the mat with that right heel. Definitely should start to feel the belly wake up. Holding it here, doing a great job. Few more breaths. Okay, and then bring that right leg up. And then drop the left leg. Just so it's hovering a few inches off the floor. And then really trying quite hard to keep that right leg over the hip. So it wants to travel down, but we're not letting it. Warming the body up even in lying postures like this. Keep the breath steady. Remember to breathe. Breaths here. And then exhale, you can lower both legs. Take another cat stretch. Point the toes, arms overhead, lengthen. And then exhale, hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side. So we've got just one more lying posture to do. Well, 2. We're going to do some leg raises. But we're going to try and see if we can target the psoas muscle rather than get the quads and the hamstrings involved. Be mindful of your lower back in this posture. We're going to start with one leg at a time. So if you want to extend both legs down the mat. Now take your feet about as wide as the mat, so they're quite wide. Hands are just either side of your body, palms down. And then give your legs a shake. So with these leg raises, we want the legs to be as floppy as possible. So we're not flexing the toes back or pointing the toes, we're not engaging the quad. Really floppy legs. Now stop shaking your legs. We're going to see if we can keep that sort of looseness there as we inhale, raise the right leg up towards the ceiling as high as you can get it. Okay? You can even give it a shake just to make sure it's floppy. And then exhale, lower right leg down so it's hovering a few inches off the floor. On your inhale, with control, lift the relaxed leg up, high as you can get it. And then exhale, lower that leg down so it's hovering, no effort anywhere. On your inhale, lift the relaxed leg up, doing really well. And then exhale, lower that leg so it's hovering just a few inches off the floor. Inhale, leg lift. So we're lifting with control, not kicking. And then exhale, lower the leg so it's hovering a few inches off the floor. Inhale, lift that leg up, keep it relaxed, no effort. Exhale, lower the leg so it's hovering a few inches off the floor. Doing really well. A few more. Inhale, lift the right leg up, high as you can get it. And then exhale, hover. So not rushing, using the breath to guide the movement. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hover. One more. Inhale, lift with control. And then exhale, hover. Hold the hover just for a couple of breaths. Hold it here, few inches off the floor. And then exhale, release. Ooh, I released my leg a little bit too hard then. Give your legs a shake. So now we're going to do that on the other side. So we're taking the feet about as wide as the mat. Make sure that your legs are nice and relaxed. Hands either side of the body. So now on your inhale, the left leg's going to come up as high as you can get it. Give it a shake, see if it's relaxed. And then exhale, we're hovering that leg down. Nice controlled movements. Inhale, lifting the leg up. No effort. And then exhale, hover. Few inches off the floor. Use your breath. Inhale, lifts. Exhale, hovers. Don't rush. Inhale, lifts. And then exhale. Inhale, lifts with control. Exhale, hover. Few more. Inhale, lift, high as you can get it. Exhale, hover. Doing an amazing job. Inhale, lifts, nice relaxed leg. Exhale, hover, just a couple more. Inhale, lifts. Exhale, hover, last one before your leg falls off. Inhale, lift with control. Exhale, hover. Now hold the hover. Hold it. Feel that work. And then release. Woo. All right, take a cat stretch. Point both feet down the mat, arms overhead, lengthen. And then exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Rock from side to side. And now we are going to do both legs at the same time. So if you do have back problems, what I suggest is if this is not working for you, you alternate. So instead of doing both legs, you do right, then left, then right, then left. Otherwise, both legs at the same time. Are we ready? Yes, we are. So lie down. We're going to have the legs as wide as the mat. Give them a shake, make sure they're nice and relaxed. So basically what we're trying to do is like I said at the beginning, we're trying to get the psoas to lift the leg rather than the hamstring and the sort of quads. That's what we're aiming for, important muscle. So hands either side of the body, be mindful of your back, legs relaxed, and then as you inhale, we're lifting both legs up. Give them a shake, make sure they're floppy. And then exhale, we're lowering the legs so they're hovering a few inches off the floor. So remember, if it hurts, alternate. Inhale, lifts with control, just like before. And then exhale, hover. Inhale, lifts. Use your breath. Exhale, hover. Inhale, lifts. Mindful of your back. Exhale, hover. Inhale, lift. Ooh, I'm shaking. Exhale, hover. Just a couple more. Inhale, lifts. Exhale, hovers. Inhale, lifts, doing really well. Exhale, hover, two more. Inhale, lifts. Exhale, hover, last one. Inhale, lifts. Exhale, hover, hold the hover if you can, just for a few breaths. Hold it, feel that work. and then release. Okay, take a cat stretch, last cat stretch. Really point the toes, stretch into the tops of the legs, the core, and then hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side. And then from here, we're gonna make our way, not up to standing, up to all fours. Whew. So I hope we're feeling a little bit stronger in the core area. Now we are going to work through small four postures. So fingers spread underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. First things first, you know I love it, cat-cow. So cat-cow is a very good way to stretch into the core muscles on the inhale, the little back bend. So from your all four position, as you inhale, lift the hips, lift the chest, look forward, you might feel a little stretch come into your belly. And then as you exhale, tuck the hips under, round the back, arch the spine up towards the ceiling. So your inhale lifts the hips, lifts the chest, you look forward, little back bend, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then your exhale rounds, tuck the chin into the chest, feel the work coming into the tops of the shoulders, keep going. So the whole of your inhale lifts. So again, we're using the breath to guide the posture, and then the whole of your exhale rounds. So take a couple rounds of this. This is a really good posture if you do get a tight back, if you do sit down most of the day. Working into the back, as well as increasing, sort of the mobility of our spine as well, keeps our spine nice and healthy. So a couple more rounds of this. Okay, lovely, and then on your next exhale, just come to a flat back, and then inhale, step your right leg back, toes tucked. So we've done a lot with the hamstrings today, so hopefully this doesn't feel too sort of difficult. We want the fingers spread, hands underneath the shoulders, we're looking straight down, so we're creating a straight line from the crown of the head all the way to the tailbone. Travels down that leg, shoots out the back heel. So pushing the right heel back, calf, hamstring. You can bring some effort into the right quad if you want. Start to heat up the top of that leg. But whatever you're doing, just keep the breath steady. Okay, and then as you exhale, bring the right knee down, then inhale, left leg back, toes tucked. Same thing, creating a straight line from the crown of the head all the way down to that back heel. Also keeping the shoulders strong, so we're not allowing the shoulders to collapse in towards one another, we're pressing the ground away from us. Strengthening into the wrists. Okay, and then as you exhale, bring that left knee down. So coming into child's pose, taking whichever variation you prefer. So you can have your feet together, knees as wide as the mat, or you can have your feet and knees together, doesn't matter. You can stay upright or you can sink the forehead down, just taking a couple of breaths. This is also a good place to give your wrists a wriggle if that felt a bit strong in the wrists. Okay, lovely, then inhale back up into all fours, fingers spread, knees underneath the hips. On your inhale, we're going to take the right leg back again, toes tucked. And then from here, we're going to extend the right leg up. Okay, so we don't want to take it way up. We want both hip points, hip bones to face down. We're trying not to lean too much over towards the left. So finding that position, keeping the toes pulling back towards you. And then on your next inhale, left arm extends out in front, palm down, looking down. Right, so posture called balancing table. I should be able to eat my dinner off your back. So we don't want a banana back, we want a nice, sort of like straight-ish spine. And then imagining that someone's gently tugging, so we're trying to lengthen the line. Working on that core stability now. Taking a few more breaths here. And then exhale, bring the hand down, bring the leg down. And then on your inhale, left leg back, toes tucked. Then from here, lift the left leg up and make sure that you haven't hiked that left hip up as well. So keeping the left hip facing down. Try not to lean too much over towards the right. So keeping the weight quite central. As you inhale, right arm out in front of you. Keeping the palm down, looking down. Breath steady, and then trying to lengthen that line. Be mindful that the left hip hasn't hiked up, so keep that hip down. Being mindful that the tailbone hasn't sort of like popped out and we're banana back in. And then exhale, leg down, hand down. Amazing, come back into child's pose, have a breather or have a drink. Might want to give your wrists a wriggle. Okay, and then inhale, back up into all fours. Fingers spread underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. So this time on your inhale, straight away we're just going to take that right leg back. Okay, and we're going to lift it off the floor. So just like before, keeping the right hip facing down. And then we're going to extend the left arm out. So the palm can face in this time, in towards the midline. So coming back into the posture we just practiced. Now this time as you inhale, I want you to sweep your knee through, sweep your elbow through, knee to elbow. Okay? And then exhale, lengthen. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, release. With control. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, release. Slow movements. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, release. Two more. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, release. Inhale, knee to elbow. And then exhale, release. Hold it here. So we're holding the leg out, the arm out. Now, you're staying here for a few breaths. If you want to bring a little back bend into this, look forward. See if you can reach the left arm round to take hold of the right foot. If this isn't happening, just stay in that posture we were working with. Then you can kick your left foot into the hand and draw your left shoulder forward. So wherever you are, we're going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Ooh. So give your wrists a wriggle. Like I said, we are strengthening into the wrists as well, so it might feel a little bit wristy. Oh, that's hard work, isn't it? We're going to do the other side now. If you come to one of my classes, you know that I don't do the postures. I just walk around barking orders. So having to do the postures with you, I feel like it's solidarity, but it's very difficult. Getting a taste of my own medicine. So come into all fours. This time we're taking the left foot back behind us. So I like to point the toe this time, I should have mentioned that, but if you feel more comfortable pulling the toes back, you can do that. And then on your next inhale, right arm extends and palm faces the midline, the middle of the mat. So this is our starting position. Now as you inhale, we're bringing the knee through, knee to elbow. Little round in the back. Then exhale, extend. Inhale, knee to elbow with control. And then exhale, extend. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. Inhale, knee to elbow. And then exhale, extend. Few more. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. Now hold it here. If this is where you're at, you hold it here with the arm and the leg extended. Now if you want to bring a back bend into this, look forward. Sort of curl your left toes in, reach back with your right hand, grab the foot or the ankle, and then kick into the foot as you draw your right shoulder forward. You're going to hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Everyone release. Everyone come into child's pose. Have a breather. Doing amazing. And then inhale, come up into all fours. So downward dog time. Yes, love a downward dog. So all fours, fingers spread, feet hip width apart and parallel. We're going to tuck the toes. We're going to send the hips up and back. And we're going to come into our downward facing dogs. Now if you need to bend the knees, you go ahead and bend the knees. You don't have to have the heels down. Either way, you can keep it static or you can start to pedal one heel down and then the other, up to you. Couple of things, just keep the feet hip width apart. The hands are roughly shoulder width apart and then the head hangs down between the arms. So don't crink your neck in this. Eventually looking towards the navel, but it kind of like you're looking back between your thighs. Couple more rounds if you're pedaling. If you're pedaling, maybe take your hip back as you push your heel down. Okay, then stop pedaling, see if you can work the heels a little bit further towards the ground. Draw the thighs to the back of the room. Maybe tilt your hips up towards the ceiling. Deep, steady breaths. We're going to be holding this just for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come down onto your knees, make your way into child's pose. Wide legged, all legs together. Maybe bring your arms either side of the body and give your wrists a wriggle. Take a couple of breaths. Okay. Right. I don't know why I'm so close to the camera. You can come out of child's pose now. I've got something. We're going to be doing something now. If you need to have a rest at any point. We're going to be doing some stuff. Now, what I want you to do is, as we do the next couple of movements, is to keep everything as sort of tight and controlled as you possibly can. So we're not just flopping from movement to movement. There's a real sort of integrity and strength in everything we do. I'm going to show you what we're going to do, and then we're going to do it together. And if at any point you need to have a rest, you can have a rest. So watch me, just for a second. So what we're going to do is, from downward dog, we are going to inhale, come into plank. Again, controlled with everything we do. We're going to exhale down into forearm plank. We're going to inhale back up into plank, and then we're going to exhale back into dog. And we're just going to do that round, I don't know, 5 times maybe? Maybe 5. I'm just going to hold each posture just for a little bit. Get strong. Okay, let's do it. All fours. I'm going to have a drink quick. So make your way up into downward dog. Now, remember, controlled movements. So from downward dog, I want you to inhale, plank. I want you to exhale, forearm plank. Inhale, plank. Then exhale, dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, forearms. Inhale, plank. Exhale, dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, forearms. Inhale, plank. then exhale, dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, forearms. Inhale, plank. Then exhale, dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, forearms. Inhale, plank. Then exhale, dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, forearms. Inhale, plank. And then exhale, dog. Few more. Inhale, plank. Exhale, forearms. Inhale, plank. And then exhale, dog. Two more. I'm not doing it. Inhale, plank. Exhale, forearms. Inhale, plank. Then exhale, dog. One more. Inhale, plank. Yes. Exhale, forearms. Inhale, plank. And then exhale, dog. From downward dog, come down onto your knees and make your way into child's pose and have a rest. Give your wrists a wriggle if you need to. Doing a lovely jubbly job. I only skipped one, by the way. And then inhale, come up into all fours. All right, so from all fours, we are stepping our right foot forward between the hands. Forward with the left and just let the head hang. And then as you inhale, swoop your arms up, look up. And then exhale, arms by your side. All right, so getting strong in the arms as well. So plank, forearm, plank, obviously core, but you know, it's strong in the shoulders too. So just gonna do a little forward fold. So feet hip width apart and parallel, hands to hips. Now as you inhale, lift the chest up, lengthen. And as you exhale, hang. So fold forward, bend the knees as much as you need to. And before we come into the fold, inhale, look forward again. And then exhale, fold, take hold of your elbows. Okay, ragdoll. Some people like to find some movement here and sway side to side. You can do that if you want. And other people like to keep it quite static. The only thing is you want to be mindful of your back, so bend the knees if you're a bit sensitive in that area. Obviously stretching into hamstrings, but working into the lower back here too. Okay, lovely, then inhale, look forward. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, slowly come up, bend the legs. And then exhale, release. Right, if you thought what we've done so far is brutal, then you're gonna love the next posture. So I've got a couple more things to do. So the next posture, you're gonna watch me. Just watch me for a smidge. So we're gonna come into a forward fold, but we're gonna place our hands underneath the shoulders. Now, this can get quite tricky if you've got tight hamstrings. So a couple of options is obviously to bend the knees to get down onto your hands, or if you do have those fat books, now would be the time to place the fat books underneath your palms. Now if your hamstrings are okay, then you just straighten the legs. Now what we're going to do to begin with is, if you want to make it harder, fingertips, because then the hamstrings going to have to do the work, keeping the hands light, but obviously if you're struggling, palms flat's fine. So first, we are just going to inhale, lift the right leg. Now as you can see, the chest is extended, I'm not curving in the back. Fingers on the floor, and then don't lift your leg really high, just keep it level, just like we were doing in that sort of tabletop position earlier. Okay, we're going to find this position, and then what we're going to do is inhale, lower the leg. So it's hovering a few inches off the floor, and then exhale, lift it up. Now if your hamstrings are quite okay, you can inhale, drop the leg, swoop it through, and then exhale, lift it back up. Now if you need to bend the knee, no problem, just do that. You don't need to bring the foot all the way through. You can just lower it as far as you can. Right, Here we go. So come to the front of your mat with your feet together. Hands to hips. Inhale, lift the chest, and then exhale, fold forward, hands underneath the shoulders. Now, just sort of get comfortable here. Find your book if you need a bit of height. Bend the knees if you need to bend the knees. Fingertips if you want to make it more challenging. Now, take the weight to the left, and then we're going to raise the right leg up. Okay, so no higher than the sort of hip, so keep it quite controlled. It's like warrior 3. Okay, then from here, see if you can get that left leg strong. Now the leg doesn't have to be straight, but we want the hamstring to be working. Okay, then as you inhale, lower that right leg so it's hovering a few inches off the floor. And then exhale, back up. Inhale, lower the right leg. Sweep it through if you can. And then exhale, back up. Inhale, lower the leg, hovering. Don't let the foot touch, then inhale up. Should feel that work in the hamstring. Lower the leg so it's hovering. Good, then exhale, back up. I think my breath's gone weird here. Inhale, right leg so it's hovering. Exhale, back up. Few more, light on the fingers. Inhale, leg down so it's hovering. Exhale, back up. You should feel that work in the left glute. Inhale, leg drops. Exhale, back up, and then just drop that right leg. Oof. So if it's working, it's working. You should feel it in the left hamstring and the left butt cheek. So let's do the other side. Hands underneath the shoulders. So remember, setting it up, you can bend the knee, have the hands on books. Fingertips if you want to make it a bit more challenging. Then lean to the right. Okay, and then we're taking that left leg up just so it's level. Don't need to go too high. And then inhale, drop that left foot so it's hovering. Exhale, back up. Inhale, drop the leg so it's hovering. Exhale, back up. Feel the work in the right hamstring. Inhale, hover. Exhale, up. Inhale, hover. Exhale, up. Few more. Inhale, hover. Exhale, up. 2 more. Inhale, hover. Exhale, up. Last one. Inhale, hover. Exhale, up, and then drop that leg. Drop the body. You can just have a dangle. Dangle here. And then roll the spine up. Head last thing to lift. All right. Hope you're doing okay. Whew, that's difficult, isn't it? So we're going to make our way onto the floor. We've got one sort of harder thing I want to do, and you know what's coming. You know it's a boat pose. And then after that, we're going to cool down. Now, I don't want to see the numbers drop off just because I said boat, all right? Because I know what you're like. So come to the front of the mat, feet together. Let's move for a sun salutation. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold, hands to floor, drop the head. Inhale, look forward. And then exhale, plank, lower down. Inhale, back bend, shoulders back. Exhale, dog. And from downward dog, you can make your way into seated however you like. You can practice your jump throughs or just come down onto your knees. And we're in seated. It's been quite a strong core class. So we're going to do both. We're going to work up in stages. We're going to find the stage that works for you, and then we're going to do 5 sets, 5 breaths with a little lift in between. But we've worked the core so much today, this shouldn't be a problem. So come and make yourself into a tiny little ball. You can cross the ankles, but eventually we have to uncross them. Hug the thighs in towards the belly. Lean back so you can pick your feet up off the floor, and you're balancing on your tailbone. So making yourself as small as possible, really hugging the legs in. And this is stage number 1. Now it's actually really tricky to find this balance, so you can stay here and just work on finding the balance. That's not a problem. Now, if you want to make it a little bit harder, at the moment, the arms are doing the work of our hip flexors. So we're going to keep the legs in the position they're in, release the arms, palms face each other, and then really pull the thighs in towards the belly. So now your hip flexor, your adductor muscles, inner thigh muscles are having to work super hard. Hold it here. Now if at any point this hurts your back, just have a rest. Now the next stage is as you inhale, shins parallel. And then suck your thighs in towards your belly. Hold it here. And then if you're happy here, you stay here. Now if you can, you straighten the legs. Boat. My legs are shaking. So with boat, try and get away from like doing that, like letting the chest sort of collapse, lift the chest up, back straight. Breathe, look at the toes. And then we're just going to release the posture. All right, so you are going to choose whichever version you liked. Now in between each boat pose, what we're going to do is we're going to do a lift. So with the lift, we come from boat, we're going to take the hands in front of the hips, we're going to push from the shoulders, and we're going to lift eventually the bum and the feet off the floor. Now if that's not happening, keep the feet on the floor and then just lift the butt off. But keep the strength of the posture in the arms rather than letting the feet do the work. Alright, so here we go. Boat. 5 sets, 5 breaths with a little lift in between. So as you inhale, we're going to come into boat. Now hold it here, deep breaths for 5, 4, keep the chest lifted, 3, 2, and 1. Now cross the legs, see if you can keep the feet and the bum off the floor, and then lift up, and then sit down, come back into boat. Alright, for 1, keep that chest lifted, 2, 3, 4, and 5, cross the feet, hands down, lift up, and then back to boat. 1, 2, I best not be doing this by myself, 3, 4, and 5, cross the legs, hands down, lift up, oh, back to boat, 2 more, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, cross the feet, lift up. Last one, back to boat. You can do it. We can do it. 1, 2, 3, deep breaths, 4, and 5, hands down, pick up, sit down, and we're done, lie down. Oh, all right, good. Take a cat stretch, point both feet down the mat, arms overhead, lengthen, and then exhale, hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side and make circles. I don't know about you, that was hard work. Okay, we're just going to spend the next like couple of minutes winding down. We're going to do a couple of bridge poses. So back bends in general are a really fantastic way to open up the front body. So we've been contracting all these core muscles, and now with this gentle back bend, it's going to give us a chance to lengthen it, stretch it back out. So feet hip width apart and parallel. We're going to take the heels in towards the bum. And then up to you what you do with the hands. You can have the hands either side of the body, palms down, or you can interlace the hands behind the back and rock up onto the shoulders. Wherever you are as you inhale, lift the hips up And then you can just press into the shoulders, press into the feet. Feel that stretch come into the front body. Holding it here. Just keep the knees gently pulling in towards one another. So they're not touching, but we don't want the knees to splay out wider than the hips. So nice deep breaths. See if you can lift maybe a little bit higher. And then exhale, release. Hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side. We're going to do that once more. So you have a couple of options with this one. Bring your feet down. If you really want a deeper back bend, you can hold the ankles. But if you're going to do that, just bear in mind that that is going to make the back bend quite deep. That's only if you've been practicing this for a while. If not, take whichever version that you have just done. Shoulders interlaced. And then inhale, you lift up. And then feel that stretch come in to the front body. Keeping the breath steady and keeping the knees gently guided in towards one another so they're not falling out further than the hips. We'll hold it for 5 deep breaths. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower. Hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side. And then take both legs straight down the mat. So finishing with a little twist. So left leg straight. Keep the left leg relaxed so we're not having to do anything with the foot. We're just going to hug the right thigh in towards the tummy. And take a couple of breaths here. Okay, now we're going to be taking this into a twist, so be easy. Take hold of the right shin with the left hand. Extend the right arm out to the side, palms down. Inhale here, then exhale. Just guide the right leg over towards the left. Now your left sit bone, your bum, will lift up off the floor if you're twisting. But just try and keep that right shoulder down, and there is really no effort to make this super intense. The left leg's just travelling with the twist, and this is obviously a stretch for your lower back, but you're probably going to feel it in your right butt cheek too, in the glute. Nice, slow, steady breaths. Trying to relax into the posture and let go of any muscles we don't need. Okay, lovely. Then inhale back to centre. Straighten the right leg, take hold of the left shin. Bring the left thigh in towards the body and just hold it here for a couple of breaths. Okay, then hold on to the left shin with the right hand. Left arm out to the side, inhale, then exhale. Gently guide the left leg over towards the right. Left sit bone will lift. Turning and looking over the left shoulder if that's comfortable for your neck. And comparing how one side feels compared to the other. And then inhale back to centre. All right, now coming into Shavasana. So you're going to have your legs straight down the mat. If that is not comfortable for your back, feel free to bend the legs instead. Hands a little way away from the body, palms facing up. And then we're just lying flat on the floor now. I invite you to shut your eyes. If that isn't comfortable, you can keep them open. And I also, sometimes people get a bit self-conscious of doing this in class, but seeing as you're at home, maybe take a couple of really big inhales through the nose. And then just exhale, sigh it out of the mouth with a sound. So it's like, ah. Okay? So inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out through the mouth. Take another one here. Inhale through the nose, big inhale in. And then exhale, just sigh it out. And now you can let your breath come back to normal. You might want to take your attention around the body and just notice how you feel. And Shavasana is a tricky posture because the mind often just sort of whizzes off when we slow down, but trying to keep the mind quite calm, you know. Okay, now you are more than welcome to stay here for as long as you want, or we are going to extend the legs down the mat, take the arms overhead and have a cat stretch. And then if you're ready, you're going to exhale, hug your knees into your chest. And then you can make your way up to seated in your own time. This is the beauty of practicing at home, is you can stay in Shavasana for half hour if you want. Let me shuffling over here now. All right, so thank you for joining. Oh, that wasn't my knee, that was the floor. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a lovely rest of your Friday evening. I am teaching a couple of classes over the weekend, so just keep an eye on my timetable. And this class will be up till Sunday morning, so if you want to work your core, you can just come back and do it then. All right, so thank you very much, and yeah, have a lovely evening. I'm tuning off now. Bye. Bye. Don't know why I'm whispering.